I want you to think for a moment. When was the last time that you heard a story about a business tycoon or a celebrity who intentionally, at the height of their fame and fortune, decided to retire and completely step away from that life? It's a little difficult to imagine, right? We live in a culture that praises people for their successes and is envious of whoever in this world is ahead of them. Whether that be in terms of money or in terms of followers or in terms of power or social influence, very rarely, if ever, do we hear stories about people intentionally giving all of that up, leaving that behind, much less doing so for someone else. But that's exactly what John the Baptist did in the Gospels. In John chapter 3, verse 30, John tells his followers, his own disciples, that Jesus must increase, but I must decrease. John willingly gave up his own fame and fortune, the influence he held among the people of Israel, because he knew that ultimately he was not the one. He was not the Savior they were looking for. That didn't stop people from thinking that John was the Messiah. We read in Luke chapter 3 that people were questioning in their hearts of if John was the Christ. But he knew in his heart that he wasn't, and he didn't pretend to be either. In humility, John gave up his influence to give Jesus more influence. He encouraged people to stop following himself and to follow Jesus instead. John knew the role that God had given him. He understood God's calling on his life. He was to prepare the way for the Messiah. He wasn't the way himself. Jesus says that he is the way, the truth, and the life. John knew he was not. It's incredible to think about how countercultural John really was. When the rest of the world, when blessed with the social influence and notoriety that John was, would have reveled in that, John gave it up. John gave it all away because he knew Jesus deserved it more than he did. I encourage you to ask yourselves, in what way do you need to decrease in order for Jesus to increase in the lives of others? How can you use whatever influence you have to point the world to Christ in this world so desperately in need of him? Ask yourselves that question this Advent season, and the peace of Christ be with you.